Did you know that the same person who designed this Porsche collaborated with IKEA to design a clock? Welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about my favorite items that I own from the IKEA Art Event collection and the background behind the designers and the design. IKEA started their own art collection in 2015 and have since been collaborating with artists on limited time art pieces which are accessible to everyone. I really appreciate that because sometimes it sucks when things look so good but are so unobtainable. It's IKEA's way of blending unique pieces of art from artists all over the world at affordable prices. There's so many different talented artists that were involved in this collection, but I'll save that for a future video. So let's get into it. The first item is from the 2017 Art Event collection, which featured 12 different illustrations from 12 different artists. I have the Keep It Mello print by Harrington, and I honestly love it. But who is Harrington? Harrington is a Los Angeles-based artist and designer. He grew up as a kid who just enjoyed drawing and painting. Shortly after graduating college, he co-founded National Forest, which is a creative consultancy, with his friend Justin. They started working with Rolling Stone and was even in charge of the art direction of Urban Outfitters catalogs. Harrington slowly shifted from client work to personal art and developed his distinct art style under his own moniker You and I. His art has evolved so much since he began, but ultimately his style is just the most honest version of himself. Since then, he's worked with many staple brands like Nike, Nixon, Uniqlo, Coca-Cola, and even more. I really look up to him because he really embraces how I feel as an artist or designer. Oftentimes you hear people say,
I love telling stories.
But what if you just want to show a feeling? Something that's almost indescribable. I feel like we're always trying to chase a style or an aesthetic, but at the end of the day, you just need to create things that speak to you or that you find fulfillment from. Harrington's work often involves bright colors with playful and whimsical elements like palm trees and his dog character Mello. When I see his work, I can see his influence from Keith Haring, Kaz, and even a bit of Takashi Murakami. I found out about Harrington in high school from his 2018 sculpture, which featured two palm trees wrapped around his dog character in a playful hug. Ever since then, I've been wanting to get a piece from his collection, but they were selling for around $500 each, and I just couldn't afford to pay that for a collectible. That really just goes to show that IKEA's concept behind this collection is so on par because I was able to buy a piece of art that I enjoyed at a price that was affordable. But most notably, he's built sculptures for the Coachella event and even drew illustrations for the LA 2028 Olympics. I think my favorite piece of work from him was the series of paintings he made for Colette in Paris. It was his own anxious moments, and he wanted his brain to not take anxiety so seriously by making it seem fun and silly. The piece he released for the IKEA Art Event collection in 2017 is called Keep It Mello. Funny enough, I actually bought this piece when I was still in high school and wanted to spice up my room. I had heard of Harrington before, but this piece specifically really stood out to me because of the colors and the palm trees. At the time, it was $50 on eBay, which is significantly cheaper than his other pieces, but as a high school student, $50 was still quite a bit of money. I personally really like rough sketches and cartoony drawings because it makes me feel like a kid again. It's warm, inviting, and also nostalgic. Harrington mentions the reason why he uses palm trees so often is because firstly, he's from LA and there's a lot of palm trees there. But secondly, he noticed that whenever people would visit LA, the first thing they would point out were the palm trees. As he's lived there his whole life, palm trees just became something that he was so used to seeing. If you look into the details of this drawing, you can see that the drawing is not perfect. There are edges, and I love this detail. I'm also really grateful that I bought this when I was younger because recently I wanted to buy another one, but I just couldn't find any for sale. But yeah, overall, I love this illustration and it's such a gem in the series. On to the next one. Fast forward to the 2021 art event, IKEA collaborated with Gelchop to create one of the coolest design pieces. Gelchop, a Tokyo-based art and design collective. If you've heard of Gelchop, you'd know that this is a pretty crazy and unexpected collab from IKEA. Gelchop started in 2000 by Ryota Morikawa, alongside Tetsuya Ozawa and Ryohei Takahashi. They started off doing 3D modeling and hands-on making, often reimagining mundane tools and furniture in funny and unique ways. They're known for their DIY aesthetic with the fun and playful tone. I honestly love their work because it's so experimental and creative, and although it's DIY, I feel like it almost belongs in a museum. Gelchop's work is a blend of function with avant-garde art. And although Gelchop doesn't produce fashion apparel, their reconstruction art approach with deconstructing and recombining objects mirrors the remix culture of music and streetwear. In this way, Gelchop's influence on culture is more conceptual. They inspire creatives to see the ordinary as a canvas for invention. They're quite low-key in North America, and there's not a lot of information on them outside of Japan. But their list of work is huge, and they were the team behind the massive Cause figure at the original Fake store in Tokyo, back when Brian Donnelly had his own brand, Original Fake. They've also created projects and displays for Beams Japan, Muji, Urban Research, and even the fashion label Sakai in London, New York, Seoul, and many more. Gelchop's work is a bold avant-garde expression that transformed the ordinary into the extraordinary. I think one of my favorite pieces from Gelchop is their take on the PH5 pendant by Paul Henningsen, but instead was made of bowls and dishes. It's such a fun take on a well-known item, and just really furthers what I mean by their unparalleled design style. You can buy items from Gelchop, but they're well in the thousands of dollars range, and even more depending on the item. To add on their playful theme, they made these glasses with anime girl legs, which is questionable, but also very funny, and I love that it has that underlying humorous tone. For the item they made for the IKEA collaboration, it really reflects the design ethos of making designs out of insignificant everyday objects. I was able to buy this lamp secondhand on the marketplace, but it comes in a smaller version in the chrome silver and chrome blue finish. I love that they use aluminum as the base of the lamp, as it gives it a nice weight, and the writing on the side of the lamp looks so authentic and adds a nice touch to it. On top of that, the lamp retailed for around $50, and this meant that even those who don't frequent art galleries could own a Gelchop piece. I also love the concept behind it, taking something that is so insignificant and making it the centerpiece of the design. So yeah, on to the next one. The next item is the clock from the same collection by the extremely talented artist Daniel Arsham. Daniel Arsham is an American multidisciplinary artist known for connecting art, architecture, and even Porsches. His first experimental gallery space, called The House, caught the attention of Emmanuel Perrotin, which led to his first major gallery representation in 2005. Around that time, he was also invited by Merce Cunningham to collaborate with Cunningham before the choreographer's death. He eventually co-founded design firm Snarkitecture with Alex Mastonin, which further explored the intersection of art and functional design. Daniel Arsham is well known for his fictional archaeology, where he takes contemporary and significant objects and makes them look like eroded relics that were dug up by archaeologists. His sculptures included Leica cameras, DeLorean cars, to even a statue of Mewtwo. He uses materials like sand, selenite, quartz, and even volcanic ash to achieve this effect, and it looks so damn cool. His concept is to offer a glimpse of a world in which past, present, and future coexist, and embody his concept of no time and make things feel both ancient and futuristic. His past work is truly phenomenal, with brands like Adidas, Dior, Tiffany & Co, Rimowa, and my favorite, Porsche. He restyled the Porsche 928, calling his version the Nebula, where he incorporated Y2K and futuristic space age elements to the car. Speaking of Porsches, Daniel has a huge appreciation for them, and even has a whole page dedicated to Porsches called Karsham.jpg. His personal 911 is so beautiful, and he mentions that it's heavily influenced by the 1980 935 K3 car that was sponsored by Apple Computers. Not to mention that the livery on that car is hand painted, and the turbo engine was completely rebuilt and restored to factory settings, alongside with many other cool OG Porsche features. He's also collaborated with Hidden New York, which is an Instagram page that blew up recently and features really cool niche content. A lot of his notable works include the use of erosion and draped figures. His work has been featured in MoMA New York, Moko Museum in Amsterdam, and truly just all over the world. His pieces oftentimes go for thousands of dollars, and having it accessible at the IKEA Art Event further emphasizes their philosophy of bringing art to the masses. People who enjoy Arsham's work can now enjoy a functional item from him, which retailed at $60. Overall, there's so much history and context behind Daniel Arsham that I could honestly talk about him for one whole video. Like, for example, he made the album cover for Gunna, he's collaborated with Lil Yachty, and just so much more. For the clock, I love that they use glass instead of plastic, although it's a little scary if it ever does fall, but it gives a nice weight to the item. My interpretation of the design is kind of like a play on the movement of time. It's like the item's stuck and frozen while time is continuously going, unless you take out the batteries. Daniel explains that he wanted to create quiet manipulations through this piece, which include things that you may not have immediately noticed. Overall, I love this clock, and I'm grateful Daniel Arsham collaborated with IKEA on this because it's such a majestic piece, and it really stands out in any room you put it in. There's so many other artists from this collection and series that I would love to showcase, and if you'd like to see them, let me know in the comments below. I wish IKEA didn't stop this series because it's such a creative concept and every event had such cool items. I hope IKEA decides to bring the art event collection back. Anyways, thank you for watching. It would mean a lot if you subscribed and gave this video a like. And as always, I love you, stay beautiful, stay blessed, and until next time.